It's 5 o'clock in Pirate Country, and it's time to get pumped up with the P-Man. Hit the door and hit the road. 94.3 The Game is going to get you home, and the P-Man's not holding back.
Yes! Yes! Pirates win! Pirates win!
Bring on the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Holy mackerel! Oh, my goodness!
The flagship station of the ECU Pirates. And now, Patrick Johnson with today's Pirate Report on the flagship station of the ECU Pirates, 94.3 The Game.
All right, we're going to jump right into this here today. Welcome in, everybody, at the big top of the hour here on another just gorgeous day. We're going to have a string of them. And it looks like rain's going to get out of here before the game kicks on Saturday. So that's some good news as far as the Pirates and the running Bulldogs of Gardner, Webb go. All right, let's take a look at our Pirate Report, as you just heard there. By the way, it's Doug Martin going to be with us today. So we'll go ahead and get some comments from Coach Houston played for you here. Coach spoke yesterday to the media. We gave you the response in its entirety, not edited for sensationalism, with the response to the John Gilbert letter. But this is Coach Houston on the sensational 17-year-old Antoine Jackson, who made a heck of a pick-six play in Boone.
The Marshall week, he had a great week of practice. Now, he didn't play against Marshall. And, you know, the thing that Coach Jules went back to him is, okay, you had a great week of practice, okay? Do it again. You know, let's be better this week. And he had an outstanding week of practice last week. And, you know, going back, I don't know, it was probably a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, and I had a conversation with him. I said, okay, I said, there will be a time where you're going to be on that field playing for us this year. You know, and when you get out there, you can't go out there like a 17-year-old freshman, you know. But the reality is he's a 17-year-old freshman. So that's, you know, you're talking on both sides of your mouth there. I thought he did really, really well when he got in there. I did not think the stage was too big for him. The pick six, you know, it was a really good defensive call. But I've seen that call several times this year where we didn't make the play. And so I do think there's something to the fact that the moment wasn't too big for him and he made the play.
All right, more from Coach Houston. He talks about this Gardner Webb team, which is really a team that has some quality up front, the defensive line, and their offense is one that likes to play with a lot of pace. It can be tough to go against.
Gardner Webb is a very talented, older football team that has had a lot of success. This group won their conference championship last year. They have played very, very well in ball games like this, including the opener this year against Appalachian State. Expect it to be a tremendous challenge. Our players have really responded well the last couple of days. You know, they're determined to continue to push each other to work to improve.
All right, and a little more now from the ECU head coach, Mike Houston. You know, obviously going up to Michigan was going to be a tough putt. We all knew that. And they actually had leads, lead in the fourth quarter to Marshall. That's what I think is so frustrating, is the way that game went from a lead to in favor of Marshall at the level it did. Ends up being a 3-score game. And then Pirates led in the first, or at halftime in Boone, but they couldn't really get anything going offensively enough in the second half to give the defense in the third quarter an ample break. And then you have a couple defensive scores in the game, and defense has got to go back out there. Anyway, Coach was asked about having those leads in the last two games and it's slipping away from the Pirates.
So all those things are what right now is keeping us from consistently, you know, playing at the level, you know, throughout a full 4 quarters to be able to get the win. And so, you know, you address each of them individually, but the big focus has got to be, you know, in what we're doing on the practice field, you know, Sunday, today, tomorrow, Thursday. And my big focus is, you know, our coaches, we've got to continue to teach and instruct and, you know, make sure that we're putting the players in the very best situations so that they can be successful. I know that the players are very motivated to be successful. And so we got to, you know, right now our big focus is on us and we got to keep working together and keep putting in the effort and push ourselves to improve. And that's the big focus for today's practice. We got to make sure we have a great Tuesday practice, and that sets us up for success on Saturday.
Comments from yesterday from Coach Houston. We're playing them for you here today on the Patrick Johnson Show. One of the things that Coach said that's just a fact is the penalties, and that a lot of this, to a degree, has been self-inflicted, and that's the mark of a young team, and that's a mark of a team that needs to get a little more disciplined. Double-digit penalties, 11 of them in Boone, and how can that be prevented? That seems like that's kind of a recurring question here. So we'll see how Coach answered it Tuesday this time around.
There is some discipline penalties, and we had fewer of those. Okay, we only had a couple of those this past weekend, but still, you got to eliminate those. There's no point. I always tell the players, the pre-snap and the post-whistle penalties. Those are the ones you can't have. The false starts, offsides, and anything after the play is over. You can't have those, and so that's something that you got to. We've done a good job of eliminating those. We still had a couple last week, so you got to eliminate those. You had a couple on Saturday that's just, out of pure effort and, understanding, when to do something, when to not. We had 3 intentional grounding penalties on Saturday. And certainly the intent was there to get us out of a bad situation, but, there's a way to do it and there's a way not to do it. So it's addressing all of them individually, and you address them all throughout the week with everything you see on tape. And we got to cut down the self-inflicted errors. That's the big thing right now.
And Coach Houston asked about Tyler Savage's injury status.
You asked specifically about Tyler. Tyler's probably still a few weeks away, and I hate that he's in this situation, but that's just one of many guys that are dealing with some stuff.
Yeah, and that's part of it, too. You have an offensive lineman that played last year, started last year, that's out still following surgery. So, when we say there's new faces, it's not just a golly gee whiz line. There are a lot of faces who have not logged any significant snaps, even though they have been in the program, and these are the growing pains. Brock Spalding is a guy who seems to be getting better and better as he gets more time on the field. So Coach was asked about that, and he talked about the versatility that Spalding brings to the team.
Brock's a young guy who I think he has a lot to him. The best thing I can say about Brock is just that I trust him. And, he's going to make some mistakes every once in a while, but he's not going to make many because he's a pretty smart player. And, I think, the more opportunities he has, I think the more things he's going to do to help our team.
All right, so one of the big questions through the first quarter of the season is the quarterbacking situation. This is Mike Houston with the evaluation on the QB situation.
Obviously, Alex did a lot of really good things on Saturday. He also had some mistakes. The one thing I know about Alex is he's going to learn from his mistakes. He is going to be better the next time he's in the exact same situations. And he came in, watched the film on Sunday, and he's beating his head over a couple of things that went on the field. Some of it is on him decision making wise. Some of it is a result of something else in the unit. That being said, I am excited about both Alex and Mason. I would expect that they're both going to play big parts in our program and our team down the stretch this year. But both of them will be prepared to go on Saturday, and I would expect both of them to be better the next time you see them on the field.
All right, and Coach asked about what factors will determine who gets the start.
I think that is evaluation of what they're doing in the games on Saturday. I think it is evaluation of how they're doing during the week, and there's a lot of variables that go into that. The one thing I will tell you is we're going to do no matter what the position, we're going to do whatever puts the Pirates in the best position to be successful on game day. And, we've got to do a great job as coaches of putting not only the quarterbacks but all of our players in positions to be successful. And there's a lot that goes into that too.
All right, and Coach Houston, they circled back around to the Gardner Webb offense, and this is what Coach had to say about that.
Well, it's going to be difficult. I think they play a great scheme. I think they have, a lot of returning experienced guys, and you watch them this year. I mean, they've been very, very good on that side of the football at times, and so as far as simulating it, I don't think you can completely simulate it in practice. You do have a little bit of experience from facing UCF, a few years back, and you got to be able to replicate that tempo. You got to be able to replicate, just all the stuff that they do, because they do a lot of stuff, and they have a lot of different formations, a lot of different trick plays, a lot of things you don't see, and so it's just going to require an extreme amount of very detailed preparation this week, and great focus throughout the week, and great focus on game day.
All right, that's today's Pirate Report. Comments from Coach Houston. We'll have coverage on our socials tonight of the coordinators, and more comments from Coach Houston. We'll play those coordinator comments for you tomorrow here on the Patrick Johnson Show. Of course, we have Stephen Igo with Hoist the Colors Radio. That'll be noon every day this week. Change in the schedule. And they're going to air a best of Steve Logan on Friday, and we'll be at 6 o'clock, as we have been the last several weeks on Friday. So a best of for Steve Logan, and our little radio clubhouse will head to the 6 o'clock hour. And I thought we were going to be on live, but I spoke before I confirmed all that. So that's a note from yesterday. We also have for you on Saturday, coverage starts at 3 p.m. in our Fort Game Day 2.0 location. And we'll have Trent McGee. He'll be in for me on Saturday. Of course, Joey Football, Joe Sampson will be there. T-Cop and Terrence Copper. The great Stephen Igo will be there as well. So they'll be on the dais for you this weekend. We'll also hear from the coaches and the players and everyone involved. And Philip the Ref Pilkington will be updating the scoreboard desk on a busy day of college football. All right, let's hit a break here. When we come back on the PJ Show, we're going to talk with Doug. Senior moment here in this.
Doug Martin.
Doug Martin. I was going to call him Doug somebody else. Doug Martin. Jeez Louise.
Oof,
Doug
Patrick,
Martin
it's only Wednesday, and you had to use your mulligan last week. You saved it till Friday. You're using it right around the turn this week. Not a good start.
That's fine. We need to play the back solid. It's Doug Martin. Gosh, I blanked on that. I don't know what I was going to call him there, but it wasn't Martin. Doug Martin will be with us. We're taking a timeout. We're coming back with the Patrick Johnson Show. Thanks for being with us here. 94.3 The Game. We're also online, 94.3thegame.com, and the IBX Media app. Download it today for free. Google Play, App Store. Totally free to download. And you get no pre-roll ads before you get to your favorite station. All of our IBX stations are there. The downloads are going crazy since football season started. So if you have not done it, download the IBX Media app today. And speaking of downloads and podcasts, I want to thank my friend Tricia. She had me on the Game Time and the Triangle podcast that dropped today. If you go to my social media, at P-Man on Air, on Twitter, I've retweeted it. Patrick Johnson on Facebook. Something with Instagram. I haven't figured that out quite yet. But anyway, the social's there. I've retweeted it. You can go and listen to our podcast, and I talk a lot about Jay Sonalder and I in the ECU days. All right, we'll be back right after this with Doug Martin.
R&D Brewing is proud to partner with the ECU Pirates, and now you can enjoy Pirates Brew, the official craft beer of ECU Athletics. Pirates Brew is a carefully curated light beer that embodies the spirit of ECU, a refreshing and easy drinking light beer. Pirates Brew by R&D Brewing is available now at grocery stores, local retailers, and at ECU athletic events.
Head over to your favorite store and enjoy a nice Pirates Brew today, or else you'll walk the plank. Hand me another Pirates Brew. Arr.
Fifth Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous 5th Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib, 5th Street Hardware in downtown Greenville.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Just because voice-over IP telephones are the latest technology in the telephone world doesn't mean they're the right choice for you and your business. Whether your internet provider is unable to support a voice-over IP phone system, or you don't have a need for high-tech features and simply want to stick with a traditional system, Spain Telecom is here to help. Spain Telecom offers a variety of services to keep your business connected and competitive. We're confident we can find the right phone system for you and your business, a system that addresses all your communication needs. Looking for a new phone system that won't break the bank? In addition to new systems, Spain Telecom also offers gently used systems that are in great shape and can save you money. No matter your needs, Spain Telecom has a solution for you. Whether it's voice over IP, on-premise systems, new or used, give us a call at 252-353-2006 and let Spain Telecom help you with your communications needs.
Ready for this? Oh, I'm very ready. Okay, ready? Ready?
Streaming to the world at 943thegame.com. This is the Patrick Johnson Show. Now in all his glory, here's the P-Man.
All right, we got Doug Martin with us here. Coached ECU as the offensive coordinator. And then went on to be a head coach. A couple stops in college. Now with the USFL's New Orleans team as an offensive coordinator. Coach is just a retired fisherman at the beach nowadays. So that's what he's doing. Coach, how are you? What's going on?
I'm great, Patrick. It's always good to be up on the Patrick, what's your last name? Patrick Hinton show.
You deserve that one, Patrick.
I did deserve that one. Patrick Hinton show. Oh, God. That's pretty good.
Football problems, man.
Let's solve some football problems. I want to talk with the Pirates here. You know, led at halftime in Boone, I thought the offense maybe started to get a little bit more of an identity with Flynn in at quarterback. But, you know, in the second half, it just seemed like Appalachian State made some really great adjustments. Pirates couldn't really stay on the field offensively. I think the defense got a little tired in that third quarter, and we saw what App did in the fourth.
Well, I think defensively they're playing great football. I mean, scored 2 defensive touchdowns too, right? So, I mean, I think their defense is giving them about everything you could want right now. I think you're right in the quarterback situation. Flynn, I think, is a better fit if they're going to be a drop-back passing team, Patrick. You know, he sees the field better. He's got a strong arm. He's a little bit mobile. So I think he does bring some things to the table there if they're going to go that vein of really wanting to be a drop-back passing team and that being the primary source of throwing the ball. Like I told you before, you know, Garcia, to me, he's a guy that would be great in the play-action schemes, nakeds, bootlegs, moving the launch point, all those type of things. So, you know, it's a difficult fit. You've got to find out what your quarterback can do and what he's best at. And, you know, people, I think, sometimes think you have to fit players to a system, and it's really the opposite. You have to make your system fit players. And right now, I don't think they've really found the system that's fitting the quarterback situation. And I'll tell you too, they need to develop some other playmakers too. Last year they had a phenomenal running back. They had two great wide receivers, and I don't see the same talent on the edge out there right now that's helping the quarterback. So you got to develop some of those guys too, and it'll come with time. It's a long season. There's still a lot of games here left to play.
Fans don't want to hear that, and they want to yell at us for the fact that they don't want to hear that. So,
I understand that.
That's the tough part of all this, isn't it?
It is. And like I told you, Patrick, we went through this when I was there too, and everywhere else I've been. You have a quarterback like Ehlers, and we had like Marcus Crandall, for 4 years. And, things are really rolling well with Marcus, and he graduates, and all of a sudden we have to develop another guy. And then, you get David Garrard, and his freshman year, you're kind of an average team. We won 6, but then he develops, and all of a sudden you go on another run. And it's the same thing with them. You have Ehlers for a couple of years, and he's a phenomenal college quarterback, and they're able to make a good run with him. And, now you got to reload. And it takes time at this level, the Group of 5 level, and where they are. It's harder to go out and get a marquee transfer quarterback. Like Notre Dame went out and got Sam Hartman. Well, they can do that because they paid him $1 million in NIL money. And, East Carolina doesn't have that resource, and neither does most other, teams like them in a Group of 5. So you have to develop quarterbacks. And believe me, developing quarterbacks, there's an art to it. And very few, I think, are good at it. Steve Logan was awesome at it. And I learned from him. And, we were able to do it successfully.
Doug Martin. That's right. Doug Martin is on the line with us here as we talk ECU football. What do you the defense provides a couple of scores, so that gives you a boost in Boone. And I think we all knew Michigan was going to be extremely difficult. Boone was even going to be really, really difficult because App State, it was the biggest crowd they've ever drawn there. They've had UNC in recent years and Miami come through there where people were on top of the concession stand and hanging in trees outside the stadium trying to watch the Miami game. So, this was the biggest crowd they've ever had. They were amped and they provided a lot of energy. It's just tough to go on the road with a young team and win in college football. I'm not making excuses. It's just the way it is. But defensively, they've been really, really good. Now they've had a couple of, on the back end, some busted coverage in some situations. But what are you seeing, Doug, out of the Pirate defense that really kind of stands out to you when you watch them on film?
Yeah, I think that they play really good defense. Last year, I thought they played, really good defense. And last year was my first year back getting to watch some games in person in the fall. And I've been really impressed with their defense and how they play. I think they got a lot of team speed, and that's carried over to this year. They look like to me they run really well on defense. They get to the ball. They've got some pass rushers. They can put some pressure on the quarterback. And like I say, they're causing turnovers. And when you have a defense that can cause turnovers, and particularly if you have one that can score for you, that is such a weapon. Really, for them to lose that game, score 2 defensive touchdowns and lose that game is so rare. Usually when you score a defensive touchdown, I think it's something like 83% of the time you're going to win that football game. And they scored 2. So, I think they're definitely in the right direction defensively, and that's going to help them, because they're going to play some close games this year while the offense gets going, and they'll rebound too. But in the meantime, there's going to be a lot of close games coming up, and the defense will help them win those, hopefully.
We got Gardner Webb coming in for the Pirates. Trey Lamb, who's got a great family lineage in the game of football, is their head coach. He's kind of brought that Josh Heupel-style offense. And we were talking to Coach Houston this week on air and off air. And I know you'll know exactly what we're talking about here. They're scripting on the sideline. So their first 2 downs are scripted of every series. And the quarterback, and everybody knows what they're running, so the quarterback's getting what they're going to run next signaled into him when he does the check after the first play, really, to know what they're going to call on third. That's pretty high-level stuff from where I sit.
Yeah, they're going to play with a lot of tempo. They're going to spread you out. But, to me, East Carolina, I think when you play teams like that, you've got to be able to get pressure on them. And if you watched Florida play Tennessee, same style of offense last week, Florida was able to pressure Tennessee. And that's the key. If your front four can get in the face and push the pocket and make that quarterback uncomfortable, then, you can slow the tempo down because you can get some 3 and outs in there. And that's just, don't let them keep getting first downs. More first downs they get, the more they're going to be able to script, the faster they're going to be able to go. You got to get some stops.
And like you said, I think Florida's kind of provided a blueprint on how to go after that. And ECU, even though it's a younger team, across the board on the roster, as far as depth, Pirates should have a little more quality depth than what Gardner Webb has. But they're really good up front, too, defensively. They got some studs and some seniors up there. Coach, is there I don't think this is the case right now because I think this team feels like their backs are against the wall. But when you do have that FCS opponent coming in, it's not that brand name opponent. I mean, are you apt to have a letdown in a normal circumstance?
I'll tell you, Patrick, I hated playing these games. I think my very first game calling plays at East Carolina, I think, was against East Tennessee State. And that game worried me more than any game out there because just what you say, you don't know if the players are really amped up and taking it as important as they should, and particularly for the whole game. Because if you jump out on those teams like that, then there's a tendency really to lull. So you really got to have your players focused, and it's got to be about you. It can't be about Gardner Webb or East Tennessee State or anybody else. This game has got to be about East Carolina, and this whole week has to be about East Carolina. And this game comes at a really good time for them, particularly offensively, because they need to keep developing an identity and find out who they are. And this game is going to provide that for them. They should have a talent advantage in this game. They should be able to protect the quarterback well in this game and get him feeling comfortable and get something established. So I think this game comes at a really good time, but these games always worried me because of you don't know how your players are taking it.
Right. So South Carolina, I talked to a South Carolina fan this week, and they felt like they just blew it at Georgia. Are the Bulldogs kind of sleepwalking through things right now?
Well, they're kind of the same thing, right? They've got the longest winning streak in the nation. It's probably hard to keep them focused. And, they're still young players. So, they're college guys and all that type of stuff. But there's still a lot of young players out there. But Georgia, I mean, they're slightly below an NFL team right now. You look at the talent of what they have.
Right, yeah.
And they're starting over with a new offensive coordinator, right? Their offensive coordinator, Monken, left and went to the NFL. So there's some change there. So, they're going through some transition also at the same time. Obviously, they're doing it faster than a lot of people will because of their talent. But when you lose a key piece of your staff like that, that makes a difference. But, boy, they still look really good.
We got Coach Martin with us here just to kind of put a bow on some of the games last week. Florida State stayed at number 3. I'm going to see them as they go to Clemson this weekend. They were at BC last weekend and struggled. I don't know how much of that you paid attention to, but what was the reason the Noles had such a hard time with Boston College, who I don't think is a very good team at all?
Right. I think Boston College is struggling. But one thing about BC, when they play that 9/11 game and they honor the young man who died in 9/11, and his name escapes me right now. Forgive me, but it's the red bandana game. That game is really important to BC, and they get hyped up for that. So Florida State walked into a little bit of a buzzsaw there. They kind of sleptwalked through the game a little bit, probably took it a little bit lightly. I think Florida State has improved, but there's still some issues with them. The Clemson game is going to be really interesting. I think this game will really define if Florida State is truly one of those top 5 teams or not. And I think the quarterback, to me, I know he's getting a lot of hype and all those type of things. I'm not totally sold on him right now. He's definitely a good college player, but I want to see if he really is going to be an elite player, and I think only time will tell with that.
We got Doug Martin with us here. Two other things from last week. Alabama, South Florida, and again, South Florida is probably amped up. I think Alabama's got really, really major offensive issues. Bama ends up winning because they're Alabama, but what does this portell for the Tide the rest of the way?
Yeah, so Alabama, 2 issues. Number one, just like East Carolina, they're trying to find an identity on offense. They're trying to find a quarterback, and they really haven't found that guy yet. And like we talked about with Georgia, they're starting over with a new offensive coordinator there at Alabama. Also, Tommy Rees comes in there and trying to establish more of a run game, play action type system that he had at Notre Dame. So definitely some transition going on there. They don't look the same offensively. I think that one's going to be a struggle for Alabama for a while. They're not the dominant defensive team either that they've been the last couple of years. And even last year at times, they gave up a lot of points on defense that you don't normally see them doing. And I think part of that is the NFL draft hurts them every year. You give a player there for 2 years and he's gone to the NFL, and it's hard to reload that many of those caliber of players. So that's probably catching up to them a little bit too, and they've got their own issues. But Nick Saban has a great way of getting teams ready and making them better throughout the season. It'll be interesting to see if they can continue to improve and if they can get the offensive side straightened out.
All right, let me ask you a little bit, Doug, about because I got sucked into this late night on Saturday night, Colorado State. And I mean, it seems like now all the vitriol after the 60 Minutes thing and, game day and the Fox show all went to Boulder. I mean, right now, if Deion rubs you the wrong way slightly, and you're not a sports fan and you just rub the wrong way, boy, everybody's really. I mean, we're getting think pieces this week. It's crazy. But I guess Sanders draws that kind of attention, and we know he's taken that kind of criticism his whole career in a lot of ways.
Well, yeah, I mean, when has he not gathered attention to himself as a player, as a player in the NFL with the Atlanta Braves, right? Had the big incident there when he was playing 2 sports at the same time, all those types of things. He kind of thrives on that. So, whether you're a Deion Sanders fan or not, you approve of the way he's doing things or not, I would just say this, he's doing what the rules are allowing now. College football has changed with this transfer portal and being able just to get rid of players. That's never happened in college football where you could just get rid of players if you wanted to. That scholarship, the only way that you could ever take a kid's scholarship and run them off the team was they are academically ineligible or they get in trouble with the law or something like that. Those are the only 2 ways you could eliminate a kid's scholarship. The scholarship is a contract. Well, now all of a sudden, in the infinite wisdom of the NCAA, they do this transfer portal without knowing all the ramifications of it. And, players are kind of, careful what you wish for, you might just get it. Once you get the ability to transfer from school to school and go here to there, well, you're going to be treated like a pro player too. And now coaches can kind of force your hand and get you to move on. And that's what Deion took advantage of the rules. And I tell you what, he's done a great job of getting transfers in there. They're a better team. They're not a good team on defense. They're not going to be a top 15 team, I think, when the season is over. But his son is an extraordinary quarterback. They've got some talented, skilled kids, and they're going to win a lot more games than they won last year. So, yeah, I mean, I like the way he does it, and I don't like the way college football is going right now, to be honest with you, with all the transfer rules and those type of things. But that's the world we're in now, and it's not going anywhere. You can't put that genie back in the bottle. It's here to stay.
That is one of maybe 5 or 6 Colorado and Oregon, 5 or 6 top 25 matchups this week. I mean, this is a really kind of big time serious week, as far as that goes. We've already talked about Alabama. We've already talked about Florida State. To me, those 2 games, even though the Florida State game's not a top 25 game, but they're going to Clemson, who is top 10 caliber talent. So how do you see that one going? Let's start there.
The Florida State Clemson?
Yeah, Florida State Clemson.
Yeah, I think, again, that's going to depend on Clemson's offensive football team. And they seem like they're riding the ship there a little bit now. They're playing a lot better. They're playing with a lot more balance. Again, new offensive coordinator at Clemson that hasn't been there before. So I think there were some rough edges with him starting out. And now they're kind of, I think, getting a feel for what they're going to be. Dabo Swinney, I don't think wanted to change the whole offense. He just wanted a new defense or new offensive coordinator for a new voice, but he wanted to keep a lot of the things that he's done. And I think that's kind of been the rub between him and the offensive coordinator, Right. So they're kind of getting that worked out now, and they look a lot better. So it's going to depend on that. They're going to play good defense. Florida State's going to play good defense. I think that game probably will come down to, whoever can make the most explosion plays, because you're not going to be able to drive the football, 80 yards all day against those two defensive football teams. It's going to be whoever can create the explosion plays will probably win that game.
Can Alabama muster enough points to keep up with Ole Miss even though they're at home?
They can. Certainly they've got players, but they're going to have to score points. They're going to have to get points on the board. I think that's why they went back to Milrose as the quarterback, because he at least gives them the ability to run. He can make plays with his feet. He can extend plays. He can scramble around till somebody gets open. The other two quarterbacks obviously showed last week that they can't do that. So, in my opinion, they should have stuck with him last week. But I think he's the quarterback that gives them the best chance to create plays. And it'll be interesting to see if he can do that this week.
Doug Martin with us. Couple more here. We talked about Colorado. Do they suffer their first loss at Oregon?
Oh, yeah, I think absolutely. I don't think they'll be able to stop Oregon's offense. And, again, Colorado defensively is not a good football team. When you look, they've given enough points to every single team they've played. Colorado State is in a rebuilding situation there. I know the coaching staff there very well, and, so they are not anywhere near the talent level that even Colorado is, and they were able to put up quite a few points on them when they haven't against other people. So, yeah, I think Colorado's got some definite problems on defense, and I'd be surprised if Oregon doesn't win that one.
Can UCLA upset Utah, even though it's a top 25 deal?
Yeah, I love Utah. I tell you, I love the way they play football. Coach is a great he just has a great way of establishing an identity there at Utah. They never change. They're going to be physical. They are going to run the football. They're going to pound you, and then they're going to throw play action passes over your head, and they play great defense. But they have an edge to them. They're always kind of like the underdog. Nobody talks about them very much, and they kind of wear that as a badge of honor, and they are a scary football team to play. So, yeah, I think Utah will win that game.
The Nobody Wants Us Bowl, 14th ranked Oregon State, 21st ranked Washington State.
Oregon State, Coach Smith and the job he's done there, man, what a great job. I mean, they've been a top 20 team the last couple of years. Nobody ever talks about them. Nobody talks about them either. And so surprising to me that if the ACC is going to go that route, that they wouldn't want them also, because they've had consistency. They've had great players. They've won marquee games. I think they win this one. And, again, just another program that's got a great identity, and the head coach there has done a great job along with that staff.
I'm going to ask you about a couple others here. I'll save one of them for last. But Iowa, Penn State, Penn State's top 10. Iowa struggles to score. Penn State should win that at home pretty easily, right?
Yeah, Iowa's so predictable offensively. I don't see them being able to score enough to beat Penn State.
Ohio State and Notre Dame. This is really kind of one of the big games of Notre Dame's schedule. And this is a big deal early for Ohio State, where I think there's some questions, too, still with the Buckeyes.
Yeah, this is a huge game for Notre Dame. I think they're excited about this game. I think Sam Hartman has breathed life into that Notre Dame football program. That was a great get for them out of the transfer portal. And I think of all the teams, that have worked the transfer portal, Notre Dame has been rewarded the most by getting Sam Hartman. And I watched him play at Wake Forest quite a bit. My son's on the staff there, so I was up there. He is a really phenomenal quarterback. He has great vision of the field. He has great anticipation of throws. And now he's behind an elite offensive line, and they can run the football and take some pressure off of him. And he's playing the best I've seen him play. I think this game will be a real measuring point for Notre Dame of, are they going to be in that college football playoff discussion or not? And this game could propel them there. I really like their chances in this game.
All right. Great to talk to you. By the way, last I looked, it was all Old Dominion in that game last weekend. What did Wake do?
Yeah, you know what? I tell you what, I'll give Wake Forest a lot of credit going there. Their defense bailed them out. Their defense scored 2 defensive touchdowns and really saved their day, because they were struggling on offense for the first time. They were having a hard time in the offensive line. Old Dominion is causing a lot of problems with some blitzes that they just weren't ready for, getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, took a beating. But I tell you what, they played great team football. Their offense didn't turn the ball over. although they were getting a lot of 3 and outs and struggled scoring, but the defense bailed them out. And then the offense, when it had to at the end, made plays. And those are one of those games you have to win. There's certain games that are going to be great team wins, and that was a great team win for them. And then if they can beat Georgia Tech this week, they're 4-0, and that'd be a great start for a team that's, again, rebuilding this year.
Yeah, and like you said, if they could get to 6 wins,
that
boy,
would be
they're
great.
in. You know, that's a huge accomplishment.
Great job, absolutely, yeah.
Hey, always great to catch up with you, Coach. Doug Martin with us. I was on a podcast today, as I mentioned, Game Time in the Triangle podcast. Maybe you've got one you'll be coming up on soon. We'll find out. We'll promote it if you –
You're killing me, man.
I'm giving Coach a hard time. Coach and I have a lot of fun giving each other a hard time. All right, Coach, good to talk to you, man. Take care.
All right, take care, buddy.
There he goes, the great Doug Martin. He's awesome. Love having Coach on. He's so good. All right, Pilk, I don't want to take up your time here, so we're going to get a break in, and then we're going to come back and Philip the Ref Pilkington with a supersized sports update for you in Pirate Report. And then after that, we'll wrap the show up. So a timeout, and on the other side, the one and only Philip the Ref Pilkington on the PJ Show.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport. Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. Do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Just because voice-over IP telephones are the latest technology in the telephone world doesn't mean they're the right choice for you and your business. Whether your internet provider is unable to support a voice-over IP phone system, or you don't have a need for high-tech features and simply want to stick with a traditional system, Spain Telecom is here to help. Spain Telecom offers a variety of services to keep your business connected and competitive. We're confident we can find the right phone system for you and your business, a system that addresses all your communication needs. Looking for a new phone system that won't break the bank? In addition to new systems, Spain Telecom also offers gently used systems that are in great shape and can save you money. No matter your needs, Spain Telecom has a solution for you. Whether it's voice over IP, on-premise systems, new or used, give us a call at 252-353-2006 and let Spain Telecom help you with your communications needs.
Pizza? Ooh.
Yes. All pineapple.
No.
What's wrong with pineapple on pizza?
I only eat pizza with pizza things.
That makes sense. Pineapple is a pizza thing. Also makes sense.
Is it though?
This tastes great.
That we agree on.
Let's agree to agree. Pepsi Zero Sugar tastes great.
Can't you just pick off the pineapple?
Philip Pilkington here with your 94.3 The Game Sports Flash Update and Pirate Report. The Pirate volleyball team opens up conference play tonight at 6 p.m. as they host Wichita State. The Pirates are 9-2 on the young season. Come out to Minges Coliseum for the AAC opener. Remember to wear your best 90s clothes, as it is 90s night tonight. A little programming note for our stations. All of the high school football games we air, including Rose right here on 94.3 The Game, have been moved up to Thursday night this week. The Carolina Panthers were without quarterback Bryce Young today at practice, and Coach Reich spoke after practice about it.
Obviously, I know you got the injury report. I'll address the obvious that, Bryce was listed as a projected DNP due to an ankle. So, we'll see how he is tomorrow. But that's all the update I have for you right now.
Staying in the NFL, the Browns have signed running back Kareem Hunt to a one-year, $4 million deal after they lost Nick Chubb for the season in Monday night's loss to the Steelers. The 28-year-old was with the Browns starting in 2019 all the way through last season. Chicago Bears have announced today that their defensive coordinator Alan Williams has resigned. He joined the team last season and said, quote, "I need to step back to take care of my health and family," end quote. That'll do it for your 94.3 The Game Sports Flash Update and Pirate Report. We'll be back to wrap up the PJ Show after this timeout.
Fifth Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous Fifth Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib. Fifth Street Hardware in downtown Greenville.
Tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You can't name a lot of things that I didn't do. It's like a paper, like a book, not a Kindle. You outdated, I'm the one they getting into, and I won't break a sweat. Let's get it, 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 let's get it. Child, please, I don't need a towel, please.
Are you game day ready? Anson Belt, the official belt of ECU Athletics.
Are you ready for a digital hair color revolution? The Color Master Factory by Chi and LG. A masterpiece of innovation, unlimited color formulations, limitless possibilities, long-lasting color. Chi.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Dan Patrick Mornings, Adam Gold Middays, and Patrick Johnson on the way home. The best sports talk lineup in the Pirate Nation is heard right here. All right, let's go. 94.3 The Game, the flagship station of the ECU Pirates and Eastern North Carolina's home for sports. Woo-hoo! More of the Patrick Johnson Show is coming up.
All right, welcome back in. Good to have you with us here as we get ready to conclude the show here today. Pilk, did you see this proposed stadium in St. Petersburg, Florida, for the Tampa Bay Rays?
No, I've not seen it yet.
Okay, so it was announced yesterday the Rays plan to open a new ballpark in St. Petersburg. They'll do so in 2028. It's part of a $6.5 billion development project. It is a private partner or a private-public partnership. So the Rays themselves are putting some money into the stadium, and the city of Tampa and the county down there and all that, and the taxpayers are footing the rest of the bill. But it's going to be a dome stadium, which obviously makes sense in Florida. But it's going to be 30,000 seats. And that seems like a good amount for that franchise. And I don't know if I'm looking at the markups of it right now, and it is sexy. It's a good-looking stadium, and I really like the way they've laid it out. And it looks like it's going to have a little bit of a bandbox feel. There's not going to be a bad seat in the house kind of thing with 30,000. So good for the Rays. I know there was a movement. I don't know how seriously it was taken, but they were serious about it in Orlando, trying to get the team to move over along I-4 in the Orlando market. But again, I don't know how seriously. Orlando seemed to get a late start on that. There was obviously talk of going to Montreal, and the Rays had this hackneyed plan of playing games in Montreal. But, I think this is going to work out, and I think this will rejuvenate. The thing that Tampa really has right now, and you kind of see this to a degree in Orlando and to a degree with UCF, all the people that go to UCF football games now are young. They've really done a good job of cultivating their young alumni down there. And so everybody who goes there, and while they're not giving a lot because they maybe aren't in a position to afford to give a lot, but they go to the football games, are the young alumni down there. I know some of them. And when I say young, I'm talking, maybe like 35 and younger type alumni go to the games. And so I think that's been a lot to do with their success and why their season ticket sales are up. But there is a younger group with all these people who've moved to Florida, people who are making pretty good money as younger people. I sound like an old man, but you know what I'm saying, that kind of 40 and under crowd. And they're the ones that are kind of in Moss in a lot of ways, going to, they're able to go to Buccaneers games. They're able to go to Lightning games. They go to the soccer down there in Orlando. Again, I know some of these people that go to these things from my time down there. And I got to think that this would be the thing that rejuvenates the interest in baseball from younger people down there. I would think.
It helps they've been successful lately, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the perfect time to do it. Perfect time to do it.
I'll see my guy Peter King, who's older, that is an anchor for CBS nationally, and he'll go down there to a Rays game because he knows he can get in because there's plenty of seats available. And, so, I mean, that's the shame. But that dome there in Tampa's, in St. Petersburg, they currently have as a dump. Tropicana, it's awful. But this is, Pilk, I'd encourage you to Google it because it looks great, this markup.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up now, and William was raving about how good it was as well. Yeah,
how great does that look? Seriously.
It does.
Looks fantastic.
But the Miami Stadium looks good, too, and they don't get fans, so.
Yeah, but they've never done anything to endear themselves to that community. I guess they've won a couple World Series. Yeah, but, I mean, they've not done a whole lot to endear themselves down there, and that there's the climate in South Florida is a lot different than it is kind of in the other parts of the state where people are kind of excited about sports teams, particularly in Tampa. Tampa gets a knock at not being a great sport, but it's emerging from at least my observance of it as a really good kind of sports market. Now, where will Major League Baseball expand? Because you got Oakland moving to Vegas, so that situation's taken care of. I know there's a few votes that have to happen for funding, but that's pretty well a done deal. You've got this coming in 28 to Tampa, so now all that is settled. Apparently, MLB is going to expand by 2. Where do they expand? Where's Charlotte in that expansion talk? Is that legitimate and serious? Because as great as their Truist Park is downtown, unless they start taking out streets and maybe some buildings, they're not going to be able to expand that thing to be built to major league specifications. And that's where you've got to have a stadium in Charlotte. You can't put it in. Where was it before, Pilk? You're from out there, Rock Hill or something?
Yeah, it was down in Rock Hill, and that was an area that's got the room to expand, but it's just hard to get to, and the attendance was
nobody
junk.
would go to it.
Yeah, because it was so like you were at work and you had to go north or west to grab dinner to then drive south to go to the game, and it just logistically did not make sense. Now, weekend nights, it was solid, but yeah, weeknight, 7 o'clock, not ideal.
So I don't think, there was all that talk years ago of we're going to put the ideal place would be somewhere between Greensboro and Charlotte to put a major league team. But I think that ship has kind of sailed. The idea was they could put it in the triad and pull from the triangle and pull from Charlotte, but I don't know how successful that would be necessarily. I don't think you're getting a lot of people from Charlotte necessarily consistently going to Hurricanes games. I don't think you're getting a lot of Raleigheites and Triangle and even to a degree Triad people going to Hornets games. The Panthers are a completely different story, obviously. And then you're talking with MLB, that's 162 games. That's 81 dates. It's a lot of dates to commit to going to. So, Charlotte maybe could handle it. I think Nashville's certainly in the running. Salt Lake City's being considered. Portland rumbles about wanting a team, and then you got Montreal up there. So I think there's plenty. Whatever they add, though, I think the American League and National League are done. I think it's gonna look a lot like the NFL and how they call out their teams when MLB does expand to 32, which is coming. Great job today by Philip the Ref Pilkington. William, welcome to the team. He's with us, doing a great job, intern William. Thanks to Doug Martin for being with us. And Zoki tomorrow is scheduled to be on the Patrick Johnson Show. See you in the morning at 7 a.m. on Talk of the Town, 103.7, 96.3. And back here at 5 tomorrow for the PJ Show on 94.3 The Game, and all of that on the IBX Media app. Have a great rest of your evening.
R&D Brewing is proud to partner with the ECU Pirates, and now you can enjoy Pirates Brew, the official craft beer of ECU Athletics. Pirates Brew is a carefully curated light beer that embodies the spirit of ECU, a refreshing and easy drinking light beer. Pirates Brew by R&D Brewing is available now at grocery stores, local retailers, and at ECU athletic events.
Head over to your favorite store and enjoy a nice Pirates Brew today, or else you'll walk the plank. Hand me another Pirates Brew.
Fifth Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous Fifth Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib. Fifth Street Hardware in downtown Greenville.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Just because voice over IP telephones are the latest technology in the telephone world doesn't mean they're the right choice for you and your business. Whether your internet provider is unable to support a voice over IP phone system, or you don't have a need for high-tech features and simply want to stick with a traditional system, Spain Telecom is here to help. Spain Telecom offers a variety of services to keep your business connected and competitive. We're confident we can find the right phone system for you and your business, a system that addresses all your communication needs. Looking for a new phone system that won't break the bank? In addition to new systems, Spain Telecom also offers gently used systems that are in great shape and can save you money. No matter your needs, Spain Telecom has a solution for you. Whether it's voice over IP, on-premise systems, new or used, give us a call at 252-353-2000